Bienvenidos a todos. Me llamo Jenn Tibbenham. So, what am I? Who am I? Today, I think I'm the voice of the podcast of Goddess of Grip as well. Join us on our Instagram page. And I'm here with Poncho and Pablo. So, yes, good to have you guys kind of within a show. And I'll kind of start the ball rolling here. So, Poncho, give us a little bit of background on yourself, just a quick little introduction.
Nice. Well, a quick little introduction. I started doing grip in 2018. I've been practicing on my own for like 3 years. And then I started being coached by Sam Solomi from the UK. And that's when like my grippers touched like the ceiling. It was like a PR after PR. And then the lifts started to go up. And then I said to myself, I have to have a team, a group of friends that can lift with me here in Chile. Then I made the project Grip Sport Latino, which has like a podcast. I am building grip equipment and I am hosting competitions. And that's why we have you today for the first competition rundown. And that's it. I want to do grip sport and make it big in South America and in the Spanish speaking community.
Yeah.
So you're like El Presidente de Grip in
Yes.
Chile.
I like to call myself the founder, like Pablo, like the founder titan
The
of
uncle.
Attack.
Absolutely.
Uncle Grip.
I try to call myself the founder. Actually, in our certificates, I put myself as the founder of Grips for
Yes.
Latino because I have to mention that I am not like I don't have any national title because Arm Lifting Chile, which the president is Bruno. He was the first, so we have no like such the greatest of Chile or the president of the country. We have two different organizations, but about Grips per Latino and my project, yeah, I am the founder, and well, Pablo is here because he's one of the main athletes, scouts, and promoters as well, along with me and the other members of the team.
He's the bouncer. So you're the founder and the bouncer. So at least you have rhyming t-shirts.
Yes.
I'll take that again. I'll be happy to take that.
This is what I do. I give nicknames to people.
Yeah.
This is my specialty in the world.
I'm so happy. I'll take that.
So Pablo, give us a little bit of quick history. What's your background, your athletic background, and what made you join the cult of grip?
Sure. So I'm 23 and all my life I basically did track and field. I did long jump.
Yes.
But one day a teacher of us challenged us to an arm wrestling match when I was like 13, and he obviously destroyed all of us. And something changed inside of me, and I was like, okay, this will never happen again. So I started watching videos like how to get good at arm wrestling. And then I stumbled upon Devin Larratt and all the greats of arm wrestling. And it just became a little passion of mine. So I started arm wrestling with my friends, and I just trained from what I saw on the internet. Fast forward to 2022, and I met Chihong, a very strong guy here in Chile. We were in the weightlifting team in our college, and we started bonding over arm wrestling, and we started arm wrestling in between sets, and our coach got very angry at us because we were always arm wrestling. And we both eventually left the weightlifting team because we started loving arm wrestling. And then Chihong introduced me to Pancho, and it was like love at first sight. We met at a park, and we started training grippers. I had like some grippers at home, but I never tried the Captains of Crush. So I tried it with Pancho. I loved it, and that was like November. It was like a very short time ago, but now we've gotten really close, and we've already done like what 4 or 5 grip meets, and it's been amazing. And I just hope to make this sport grow exponentially in Chile.
And my nickname that I gave to you is Senior Pistol Squat because it was amazing with the hub, and that's where I just thought with the pistol squat. So that's where you and Tammy like give this whole other like athleticism with grip. Just uh, just amazing. So your intro, I have to put in my Jennism smartass comments of it sounded like a superhero because you're like, when I was 13, I transformed. And
That's my backstory.
the backstory, and then it sounded
Yeah.
like a bromance with you and Pablo. Or Poncho, sorry. It just made it sounded like bromance. It just went action to then like romance. It just
Yeah, you
went
never know what you're gonna get in grip, you
that's,
know?
that's true. That's true. So no, fantastic. And then so you did long jump
Yeah,
in track.
yeah, I did long jump, high jump, and triple jump. And it was really cool, but I always got nervous competing and I always like sucked competing.
Oh
I
no.
was like super good in training. I had like very good marks, but competing, I just got so nervous. So it was a great experience, but then transitioning to grip and arm wrestling, I felt so much more comfortable and I can really give it my all. So that's been great.
Bless your heart. No, good for you. And I'm sure that's more like puts your soul at ease that you're like, I'm not a choke artist.
Yeah,
That
exactly. Exactly.
But no, good for you. The one thing that I do, and I don't care, I've let everybody know this, that I either I've even done this in job interviews of like, get it done and put it on a yellow post-it, like any motivational phrase. And either I put it in my back pocket, it has to be yellow, and this is from my 10th grade like health teacher, that yellow is supposed to be positive, that color. And then now with my kids, like before I leave for competition, they give me a little drawing and I either put it in my shoe or sports bra. It's like so that's my thing that I do now. That
That's awesome.
yeah, to give that confidence to know that they're always with me. And then especially at the Arnold's, like I screamed out Owen's name because I was sitting in fourth and I thought to myself, like, you need to go something emotional, like to because you're sitting in fourth. It's not in hardware territory. Okay,
Yet.
we're there. Okay.
Now we're
Oh my
back.
God, that
Oh.
scared me. That scared me.
I thought it was me, the one who like my internet was down because it's not the best, but well, we are back.
Okay,
We're
good.
back.
All
We're
right.
back.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. And that's where all of a sudden my computer did like a scheduled restart. And I'm like, no, 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 no. So here, I'm scheduling it in the future. Okay. So schedule restart Thursday, April 11th. Okay. Not today. Okay. Excellent. Oh God, this is life, isn't it? Computers,
Yeah.
goddamn hackers. Okay. Anyway, okay, I was gonna pass it back to Poncho with organization. What made you decide I'm gonna take the leap of faith? Like, bet the farm, I'm gonna do a grip competition. Like, what made you say I'm gonna do this?
Well, I mean, I was into like doing grip and making something bigger before the pandemic because I started in back in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew about King Kong right in 2018, but I didn't have like the equipment. Uh, I had the chance to go to Disney for a holiday with my family, and I told I thought like, yeah, I should go and buy some grip stuff. In fact, Pablo, now that you go to the US in a couple of weeks, you should too. But yeah,
I
uh,
will. I will.
I said, well, I am not sure when I'm going to go back to the US in the any near future. So I was like, yes, I have to buy like something like expensive, special. And I bought myself grippers, the little big horn, and one of the Iron Mind rings, like for the dinner lift. And I already have the little big horn. I don't remember which grip tool was on that year King Kong, but I needed three more. So that very year, my wife, she went to New York. So I told her, "Can you receive a finish vault for me?"
Please. Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, sure, of course. She received my a finish ball. There were many grip tools, but two important ones were like the finish ball, and the other one was the bull ring, because Jet Johnson used to do them before Lucas Raymond did them, and today that bull ring belongs to Raimundo, one of the members of our team. That's something that Pablo maybe didn't knew about, but it was a gift from Bicho to Raimundo as a
Wow.
birthday present.
I
So
didn't know
yes,
that lore.
yeah.
That
Well,
grip lore.
I
Grip lore.
wanted to do like the King Kong for years. So in 2020, like in January, I wrote to Eric Rusain, what do I need to do a King Kong? Because back in the day, only Nicolas was the only like partner that I had for grip, and he would go to war for me. He's super loyal and a great friend. So he was like, man, if we are the two of us and we have to pay $50 for the fee and 10 more to compete, let's do it. And we were like that, but I didn't had all the grip tools. So moving forward to this day, this year, after November's gatherings and watching that the guys were really interested in to compete, I said, maybe we should do the King Kong. And I asked them, would you like to participate? I have everything. I have all the grip tools. Could you join me? And they were like, fuck yes.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, cell phone, Eric, I am in for the King Kong. And 5 minutes after that, I was on the grip board like King Kong. I asked Eric to write it like the grips for Latino venue, and to write me as Pancho Urtubia, and it was like, yeah, we are in for the King Kong. And then I was like, man, it's January, and the King Kong is going to be in October. And then I was like, guys, would you like to do a practice meet before the King Kong? And they were like, yeah, of course. When can we do it? And I was thinking like June, July, or something like that. And then I don't remember who of the guys was like, hey, I want a competition. I want to do it right now. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
let's do something like a friendly competition, something internal. I don't know, like even in the public square, we can do something. And then I realized I like to do things right, elegant,
Absolutely.
classy, high quality. And I always say that this was my inspiration, but Alex Guia, Fits of Alex, did the most wonderful job with Skillet Hands 2022. And I wanted to replicate something like this with coffee, bagels, Powerade, Gatorade, pizza party, and everything. So I wanted to do something like that. And that's when I decided, yeah, okay, we're going to do this in March. And I was like, yeah, let's do it in March. What do you think, guys? Yeah, it's perfect. And that's when I decided, yeah, okay, we have a date. Now we need a place. The equipment is ready because I had like the calibrated plates, but I didn't knew like all the matters that were involved into hosting a competition. Because it's like you should do like a manual of things, because you have to have your crossbar system, you have to have judges, you have to have loaders, you have to have an event coordinator, you have to have the guy of the computer, which is Pablo in this case, and who did an amazing job. He's good with numbers and quick decision making, quick on his feet. He's my
I
big
was the
respect to him.
nerd of the competition. I was
Bless
the
it. Well,
grip nerd.
you need all that because that's where Lorna and her husband, when they get involved with our King Kong, like they talk to each other. I mean, husband and wife teams sometimes it'd be like melting, but then with those two, just it's amazing. Like they say everything or confirmed. I love it. Like that's the thing. They get a medal of like, marital like cooperation because you don't see that. It's always like even with my husband, we've had a time that we're moving like a caravan, like a trailer, and we didn't communicate well, and there's like a bump the side of our caravan because it was slippy. It's England, nothing's ever dry, and I slipped, and our caravan has like this dent against the whole. But yeah, that's where there's Lorna and her husband Craig, and there's Jen and Graham, where every once in a while sometimes we got there but there was a bump. Just it goes where it goes. But no, definitely like that's what I was going to ask, like how do you do it? Because sometimes when I run comps, I'm like 4 people. And
Yes.
so no, I'm glad Pablo was there. Like I was going to ask, like how did you feel? So Poncho, did you feel like you were great, that you weren't totally overwhelmed, that there was like a good division of tasks?
I think it was like perfect because, well, to know what else did I need to run the competition, I had a meeting with Jed Johnson, and I asked him
Good.
many questions that we had, like, do we have to do a last man standing? Can we do another format of competition? And we ended up choosing the 4 attempt
Okay.
style because according to Jet, that was easier than last man standing for being the first event that you host. Um, so I hope that the next competition that we host, it's going to be like the last man standing version, to compare if it's easier or not. But once I knew that it was necessary to have like many roles into the competition, I asked Pablo, and he said yes right away to be the guy behind the computer and to put the information and have like a track of the time and everything. He was super happy. And with Nico is like he has been into grip as long as I have been. So I wanted him to be the judge. And Nico, he is physical education like professor, a
Okay.
trainer. So he understands the movements. He has like a really strong hand to say no for
Mm-hmm.
anyone who
Yeah.
has a no lift. So according to that part, I could rest on my team, and also a surprise for me was that I never asked my wife to go to the competition. And when we were like having dinner or lunch at my parents, she was like, yes, because on Sunday we are going to Pancho's first grip contest that he's hosting. We are going together. And I was like, really?
Really?
And actually, she's studying at college. So she went there and she just was sitting there saying hi to everyone,
Mm-hmm.
studying, and she has a really beautiful table with all the meals and coffee and fruits, and she was
That table
just
was awesome.
there sitting, like super personal, but making everything shine to my eyes.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, this is perfect. This is in order. So she was really great to make my to have me like with a really low anxiety about that day.
Definitely. Yeah, yeah.
So it was a really good experience because of the team that I could have. Thanks, Pablo, again for for
Yeah.
your role in the competition.
Yeah, I gotta say it was awesome to see you and your wife. I hadn't had the pleasure to meet his wife yet, but she had like this awesome table with gummy bears and cookies and coffee. So we were just munching on sugar like for 5 hours straight to get through that competition because it was long. It was long, but it was awesome. It was awesome. And you could definitely see having her there made Pancho like rest more easy for
Yeah.
sure.
It's good to have those people like, yeah, I totally get it. It's nice having like my oldest son there now that he's potty trained, because then I don't have to deal with like nappies in between sets. But he's fun and he says hi to everybody. So that's where I'm cool with my kids coming. It's just making sure. But no, the anxiety that makes the bit. And then for the sugar, I feel like on competition days, like don't listen to MyFitnessPal, anything like that, because it's like
Nah.
between you're trying to calculate, you're competing, whether or not if you are judging, because sometimes like when Lorna and I have done King Kong, you're 3 or 4 people, your loaders, like just guess what, for 2 days or so, you just might need to like just have a sugar blowout. And then
Yeah.
the next week or two, then it's like rein it in because it's just like you're just trying to function and do all these multi jobs all the time. So yeah, hats off to you. But it's just the planning and it goes to it. And that's what I was gonna say. So the venue, did you know the person that it had like the gym, or did
Yes,
you like, okay,
yes.
that always helps.
Actually, when I had to like go for venues, I mean, most of my friends are into sports, being athletes or personal
Yeah,
trainers. So I know many gym owners here in Santiago. So I firstly asked my friend who is a professional climber
amazing.
if we could do it at his gym, and he has several like issues because you have to have like a license to have a gym here in Chile,
Definitely, yes.
and they didn't have the license. So if they make any noise on their gym, the neighbors go to the police and tell, these guys are having like an illegal gym. Let's have
Oh no.
like a punishment. I don't know how to say it, but she couldn't give me his gym because
Hmm.
he's one of my best friends. He's the one that has been teaching me to weld, to paint, to build all the grip equipment, because he's like a jack of all trades in life in general. He does
Yeah,
everything. Pablo, you haven't met him yet, but he's amazing. He's amazing. Manuel Hernandez, my friend Manuel, shout out to him. Well, I had to knock many doors for venues, and they were extremely expensive. They were super cool, but I couldn't afford it like with the money and the budget that I have today. And then I remember that I have a friend from college. I studied business, so it's business school, and he was always into CrossFit. And he told me years ago, like in 2019, uh, one day I will have my CrossFit gym, and I will have the gym and my job. And I went to social media, and he has this amazing gym. It's beautiful. It has good equipment, and also we always had like this, let's say, athletic admiration, because I never got into CrossFit, but I think it was really cool, and I always had asked him about, hey, is this about and stuff, and he was the same way with grip, and I asked him, may I do the contest in your gym, and he was like right away, sure, come with the guys, we can do it like this
amazing.
way, and it was like the venue check. So I knew him before, and actually, he wanted to join the competition like the
Yeah.
night before, and it was like, of
Yes,
course, yes, come.
Yeah, it was so
definitely.
cool having him compete, having extra guys.
So senior pistol squat, did that make you like go even further? Did that like make you put a fire up your ass to be like, it's time for me to play? Like, did it make
Yeah,
you
for
just
sure, for sure.
good?
And but especially with Nico, the other judge, like he's a beast, and I'm very competitive, so I was trying to beat him. He got first place for like 1 point. So next time I'll definitely
You're going to
bring
scare
my
him.
A+ game. Yeah.
You're going to
Well,
scare him. Yeah.
I was gonna say you're part of the A+ gang already because Tammy, she was a long jumper and a triple jumper, so it's like it's in your blood. Like
Yeah.
you jumpers, it's in your blood. So like you're there, like that's the thing. The first competition got the rust off. It's like the Tin Man from the Wizard of Oz. Like just keep oiling and it's gonna be good. Just
Yeah.
next time. it'll get there. But no, that's what the venue, and I'm so glad because that's what it comes to be. Like one year we ran King Kong and this, gym in London, they wanted this much, and it was like, eek, like we don't make that much. And I tell people, like with grip sport, and if you're gonna host, like I don't be like, I'm gonna do it for the money. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It doesn't
No.
happen like that. You do it for the love. You do it for the love of the sport. That's what I tell people. Like you're not gonna make a lot of money off of it. So right. So and then I guess we kind of went over the day. How did you feel? And it seemed like you were really prepared for it, Poncho, right? Like you didn't feel like any, or I guess what could you do you think there's something you could improve on as a host?
Yes, there were many things because I am in general I am really like there are two characteristics of myself that I always talk with my therapist. Uh, I am a little paranoid, so I am
Okay.
always putting like the band-aid before the scratch,
Ooh.
so before the wound. Thanks, Pablo. And I am always trying to think what people is thinking about what I do. So I was like in my notebook, like writing everything um, 3 times to like have a bulletproof strategy to have a great venue. And the other thing is that I am really mm, critic with myself. So I'd love to have a venue which is like closer to where we all live, because it was like 50 minutes from everyone's
Yeah.
houses. That was a tough sacrifice for the athletes, or most of them. And I love them for doing that for the competition, because the place was super nice, but it was far away. That's one thing. And the other thing that I don't know if you are aware of that, it's that to be into the Grid Sport International rankings, uh, you have to do the weigh-ins like 2 hours before the beginning of the competition. And I think that those 2 hours are like dead. And maybe it was a mistake that I made. I am not sure. But that's something that I would put an eye on, because we started the competition like at 11. The weigh-ins were from 8 to 9 a.m. and we ended the competition like with the podiums and certificates like at 5 p.m., right, Pablo? It was a
Yeah.
thing of the whole day. And yeah, the hype of the first time, but uh, everyone has a job, everyone has a family, and Sundays are for mainly for resting. So I don't know if we can like replicate the same scheme on the next contest. So that's something to improve. Something that was done right. The food, I think it was okay.
Yeah.
It was like good to have that type of pre-workout. You
I
still
still
have
have the
this?
Powerade left from the competition.
I was like, is
I was
somebody
just
gonna come out there? And
we had some Powerades left, and I was so happy to take an extra one home.
Yeah. The food was right, the venue was right, the equipment was right. Maybe the warm-ups, we just had one set of everything, like one finish ball, one little big horn. I'd
Yeah.
like to invest in
Yeah.
more implements so people can warm up properly, like in with many loading pins in
Yeah.
parallel to optimize the time. Oh, and something that was painful for me, uh, loading the loading pin and the crossbar. The crossbar fell
I think,
all the
yeah.
time. Pablo, please tell it, tell it.
Yeah. Yeah. The crossbar definitely is like the bottleneck of the whole competition. Like it took so many times that we're also so competitive. So I'm at fault because of this, but we just wanted to show off, with the blockbuster, just fucking just
Pa-
rowing it just to show dominance.
Pablo was
Yeah,
doing
like
upright rows with
yeah, we love to
actually
like
actually Pablo always does upright rows while warming up in pinch
yeah,
all the time,
yeah,
like
it's just to show dominance, you know. So people were just like getting so eager, and the crossbar fell so many times, you know. Uh, and you also, you know, when the crossbar falls down, the athlete gets a little of an unfair advantage because in the minute it takes to perform the lift, he could rest a little bit more because we paused the time to fix the crossbar. So definitely building a sturdier one that doesn't need to be measured all the time will save like an hour at least. At least.
Definitely. So like with a crossbar, like myself and Lorna, we invested in something on like eBay, fine. And then like my friend Tony Coward, much respect, he actually has like the rulers like welded into the metal. So then he exactly knows. So like
Awesome.
I totally understand that. Either I'll take some pictures or ask and then send it to you guys.
We'll
See
build
what you,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you show us, we will build it.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, reminds me of Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. So yeah, no, definitely something like that. And that's where you have to plan it. And then Poncho, like, never ever get frustrated that you're doing a competition because it takes balls to be a promoter. Like, you can put that on a t-shirt. I don't care. Like Jenn says, like, I'm the promoter. It takes balls because at the end of the day, it's hard. Like, you are that public eye, everybody asks you questions, and then doing this, what's the order of events? It's like 100 things, even though you feel like you need to do an FAQ to just like send it, don't ask it to me on the day to try to be like, no, I need my headspace. But I think as a promoter, and I'm getting to that point that it's just, you're here, my rules, or like, fuck off. I think you have to have that, but no. And especially, I'm glad you had Nick there to just say yes, no for the referee standpoint, but for the promoter, don't ever be discouraged because it takes balls, because that's where I bet you any dime nobody would ever want to be in your shoes. That's what it comes down to as a promoter. Either you have that shared understanding and having that team, like Lorna and I, we work together very well. It's the same thing. It's making sure you have the people that make you successful. So absolutely hats off. And Pablo being the grip nerd. So that's fine. You got your
Gladly.
blessing. Yes,
Gladly.
gladly on that one. So yeah, the bar totally improve. But yeah, every time to have a 6-inch mark or whatever. But I
Yeah.
feel like with the competition style that you did of like a GSI, of just making sure that it's that 6-inch, because I feel like in arm lifting, there's way too much gray area on somebody's lockout. To
yeah,
me, with GSI, the 6 inches is 6 inches. It's
Yeah.
6 inches. It's not, the 100 millimeters, like 6 inches. Everybody knows there's a ruler, or, there's tape measures all across the world, different makes. It's the same. So that's where I feel like with GSI, there is no, it's black or white. Because arm
Exactly.
lifting, there's just so much gray, like even that Country Crush block, because at the time there really wasn't the rules to see. And then when we went to the Arnold, or I'm sorry, Mr. Olympia in 2023, a few of the girls, we were lifting it different than what we thought. So this is where I just think rule explanation, it's not a dig, it's just because the lack of information and the experience. But of course, there's going to be several of us competitors now that we can tell people how to do it correctly. But until that, that information, I feel like it's guesswork sometimes. So that's not a dig at anybody. It's just having that experience to then feed it on to the right way. Right. So you said 15 minutes, that's all you guys had to do to travel.
I mean, I live in a different county than Pablo, so in the case of Pablo, I mean, I think he took, or the guys from Las Condes, that's the county that where they live, Vitacura in the case
Okay.
of Pablo, there was a huge marathon
Yeah.
in
Oh no.
Santiago on that Sunday. So that made like a huge delay compared to normal
Oh,
conditions. And
Yeah.
and I wanted to point that one of our competitors ran the marathon, and after the marathon, he went to compete. He's a true
Oh,
Andrew.
amazing.
He's a true Andrew Durniat of Chile.
Yeah, hybrid
He's
athlete.
yeah, and
Amazing.
he did many PRs, so it was amazing. But Pablo, how long did you took to arrive from your
Dude,
home to the gym?
like an hour 20, I think. It just took the biggest detour. I luckily have like a bus stop next to my house that connects to like all of Santiago, but the marathon made us take a very big detour and there was a lot of traffic. But we made it to the weigh-ins and that's all that matters. But yeah, definitely would be great to have something closer for next competition.
I'm laughing because this is me. Like I've traveled to Sweden, and then Sarah and I, when we drove like 4 hours to Malcolm, Sweden, and then just that makes me giggle a little bit, like 50 minutes, like that's nothing.
Yeah, I mean, we're being crybabies right now,
Yeah,
maybe.
a little bit.
Yeah.
I
I'll
mean,
give you I'll give you a sucker. Yeah,
I,
suck on that.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I mean, in my case, I must say that yes, I have traveled as well, and I will travel the world to go to an arm lifting to a grip sport competition. But I am already in the bottom of the rabbit hole. I mean, I am obsessed with this. But the guys, it was their first competition, so they were not like so in love yet. I mean, it's not the case of Pablo, of course, but the rest of the guys that are not so in love yet. So I was like worried to make things like easier, especially for the first one that come to the team, to like push them into the rabbit hole. But yeah,
Yeah, this
it
is
is the
Sparta just kicking them in to the
yes.
rabbit hole.
Yes, I want to make things easier for them, easier than they were like for me when it was nothing, so they can like fall into it fast, so we can grow faster. But yeah, it requires sacrifice, and yes, uh, I mean they can cry, and and I can give them like napkins and recognition.
Exactly. No,
I
you
can
did.
give it. Come to compete with me, guys.
Uh,
Join me.
we we should also mention the special prizes
Oh,
for the overall. I
do you
have it
have?
right
I'm loving
here.
it. I'm loving it.
I
Tell
don't know
us.
if
Tell us.
Jen knows about this, but there
Show
was
it.
these awesome tiny inch dumbbells
I
that were
love it.
made for first, second, and third.
Is that
Nico
your
got the
pinky?
gold one. This is the silver one.
That's cute. So you
Yeah.
can be doing like finger
Yeah,
lifts
like my
at work.
pinky is getting an insane pump right now with the with this inch dumbbell.
No, that's cute.
I told the guys that's an inch dumbbell from Nathan Hall. Not
Yeah.
everyone in Chile has
Wow.
a Nathan's inch dumbbell,
It's a
so
privilege. It's
it's
a
like
privilege.
it was hard for me to let that inch dumbbell go, you know, because that's something that I did because I wanted to award my friends, because strictly speaking, I won the tournament. I won my weight class and I won the
Yeah.
tournament. So I had the right to keep one of the dumbbells, but it was unfair because I am here like for so long. I am like the grandfather here in Chile of grip. So
Yeah. Everyone's like, Uncle Grip does not count. Like he crushed us
so
by like so
not
much.
not for so much, but I am more experienced and all this stuff, because actually my wife told me that the guys were like preparing for the lifts, nervous, and I was like, boom,
Yeah.
because I
Just
have
all business.
I have been doing this like for so long, and I know like my body and the jumps between attempts, so it was like kind of easy. I was worried about running a good competition, not about competing. So
Yeah.
it was like unfair that I get the prizes and I keep the prizes. it doesn't even feel good to have this recognition paper signed by myself. It's like, but
It's
I
like
have
that
to.
Obama meme putting a medal on himself.
Yeah.
But you deserve it, Pancho. You did such a great job
Agree.
organizing, so you do deserve it for sure.
Absolutely. And that's the other thing because I'm running Gods of Grip competition in April, or sorry, let me back up, May. I'm running it in May, and that's where I'm kind of doing local, but then my points will count nationally. So I'm with you there, Poncho, that you're like, okay, I'm gonna probably win my pool with points, but then you have the national level. So, but at least you're giving the people around you a chance the experience. So I just think don't do yourself a disservice whatsoever because then even like Circo Peterman and Patsy, like they were running comps in Germany, Austria, kind of that territory, but they're running the comps, but still competing.
Yeah.
And it was just to make sure that yes, that people were aware, but that they were always constantly like measuring themselves to like either David Horn's world records. It's just making sure that you have that next level and that it doesn't, excuse the term, that it doesn't become a masturbation session of like, oh, it's all me. Yeah. Like,
Because that was the same. I agree with you because it's like,
yeah,
yeah, it's like, oh, I did this, I am the best. But if you take me to the US with Tim Butler, Zach Mullins,
yeah,
Ben Helms, and Lucas Raymond, and all the beasts from my weight class, I am a baby, It's like
yeah,
I have so much to learn and so much to gain. So I try to keep myself humble because maybe I am like good in the eyes of my friends here in Chile, but we have a lot of work to do to be like
Yeah,
competitive worldwide, and we will get there with time. We will
absolutely.
get there.
but I really
Absolutely.
love that. Like just being able to be last place in the North American group uh
In the ranking. Yeah.
rankings, it's awesome. Like, okay, I'm at the bottom, but it just gives me so much more space to grow. So,
Absolutely. It's a benchmark, like, and that's where I'm glad to have those numbers because for a long time you're like, what does that mean? And
yeah.
I'm very like a number focused person that it's either you put that on there. It's hard to just like shoot in the dark and be like, well, what does that compare to? Because at the Arnold's, like I did this like 3-inch handle of a Country Crush. And I told the lady, I said, what are we aiming for? Like at her little booth. Because there's no females that started. And then like I started at 75 reps and I was like, God, I'm so close to my birth year, 84. I'm going to do that. And then I was like, God, I'm near to 100. I better do that. And then it wasn't until like 103 reps that I was like, okay, I'm done. And then no one beat that, but I'm totally number focused. And so I just thought, make it ugly so nobody else would want to do it. So anyway, on that note, I kind of digressed. So this is where I'm going off of both Tammy wrote questions, by the way. So then I'm going to her questions as well. Right. This is a Tammy question. Were you happy with the number of competitors and the turnout?
About the number of competitors, it was good because I didn't want it to have like 30 competitors on my first event because I think that was something that would stress me because more people means more time. More time means everyone will leave at 7 p.m. and it's going to be like I thought it could be like traumatic for some people. Like I am 8 hours competing in my first group competition. I wouldn't like to repeat this experience. So I am glad that it was like this. I am like I would like to have more female athletes on the next versions. And I have to give a big shout out to my friend Leticia Oviedo. She is my friend since my powerlifting days back in the day in 2017. And she's a national hero
Amazing.
from powerlifting. She has a junior South American record on bench press. She lifted
Damn.
82.5 kilograms, being 17 years old and weighing like 63 kilograms or less, maybe 60. She's
Yeah,
insane.
it's
Amazing.
insane.
She's
Insane.
great for. She always played sports like her whole life. When I met her, she was able to do weighted pull-ups, like with 20 kilograms
Damn.
for reps. She is super strong. So she agreed to come to the competition, and she always share our grip stories. So, well, it was a life-changing moment when Tammy told you should have more females on Grip Sport Latino and females on competition, and I was like, challenge accepted. So Leticia, she's the trailblazer of the competition, so her results are a really great outcome because I was watching the rankings and she's among the top 100 on all of the lifts. Finish ball,
Yeah,
Little Big
she did
Horn,
great.
and the Blockbuster. And also, I think she's, let's say, near to Tammy on the Blockbuster, I think. I mean,
Yes.
Tammy is on the top of the mountain and Letty is like number 8, something like that. But she is at least
Amazing.
less than 10 places from Tammy, so she started doing well. And about the numbers that we could put, I think almost everyone did PRs because it was the first competition
Yeah.
of everyone. But in example, Pablo, could you do PRs on the lifts? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I think the competition setting definitely makes you go as hard as you can. I had a PR in grippers with the block set in everything really. In everything, yeah. Uh
Good.
and I'm so competitive with the guys. It's so cool because we're basically a friend group that just loves to lift heavy shit with our hands and forearms. Like it's always a good time doing these meets because you're just with your bros and you're competitive, but it's so healthy, you know. It's just such a healthy competition. I'm so glad to see all of them doing great, but it also fuels the fire. You know, I don't want these guys to beat me, but I also want them to do great. So yeah, it was definitely a great experience. One thing that did happen is that you need to keep your ego in check because I saw Pancho just going up in the attempts, and I was like, okay, okay, I see you. And I did one big jump. Uh, I did like a 3.75 kg jump in the
Hmm.
blockbuster, and I couldn't get it, but I know I had the 2.5 kg jump. Like I know I had that in me, and I'm a little bit angry at myself not to just take that little a smaller jump because in the rankings I would have been like a little bit higher because I felt that bigger lift. But you know, it's part of the learning process knowing the numbers you pick.
It's huge. And then one year I could have actually got the King Kong trophy. I did like a 5 kilo jump. So this is where,
Yeah,
guess
those
what?
5 kilo jumps, you know.
I ate my foot that year.
Hmm.
So this is where you learn, you live, you learn. And then even we had Ruben, who he's awesome at things. And then it's that ego thing, like you say. And we even told him, I'm like, put it in check, dude, rein it in, rein it in.
Hmm. Hmm.
And he was like, yep, my balls are the biggest. And just the finished ball, like totally bit him. And Pablo, I gotta totally make your lift heavy shit with your hands. Lift heavy shit with your dick beaters. Like that's what my
Yeah.
dad would call hands is dick beaters. So, and that's what I've been calling on the internet of like, these are dick beaters. So that's where it just makes that line that much funnier. I don't know. Just I say that, and even people
We'll
in
we'll we'll
English
say
are
that
laugh. Dick
from
beaters,
now on.
absolutely. Yeah, the redneck term. So this is what I do. I just bring out these funny one-liners. It's like during training, Jen says to make lift harder with my dick beaters. So yeah, you got to do that now.
That'll be our motto for the next meet, definitely.
I love it. I love it. Excellent, excellent.
Put them to
So
work. Yeah.
yes, put them to work. So just to recap on the people that were there. So I'm gonna make it sound so. Your powerlifting friend,
Leticia.
Leticia. Thank you, Leticia. I was gonna say that ethnically, and I was like, that doesn't sound right. It just made me think of like 1990s rap, and I'm like, no, that's not Letitia.
It's not Letitia.
So
Actually,
that's what.
actually thinking about this interview, I asked her, "Hey,
Yeah.
Leticia, how do I pronounce your name on English?" And she was like, "Leticia." And I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah, definitely.
and,
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I wanted to say Leticia or
Letitia.
something like
Thank
that, or something like that to make it more interesting, more spicy. And it was like, oh, there are many names
Leticia.
that have they have no like English version. Francisco,
Yeah.
an example,
Agreed.
it's just Francisco, no France, no Frank.
Yeah.
It's Francisco, and I'd rather be Pancho. It's
Pancho.
funnier, it's shorter.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
it more
Yeah.
that way.
Pancho.
Exactly.
There's like
That's go ahead.
now I was just gonna say like there's different schools of thought. There's people that try to make their name sound more like gringo, like
Yeah.
Francisco or Pablo, but other people just say like Pablo, Francisco.
Hmm.
The pronunciation can make a change drastically.
I wanted to say that in Australia they baptized Pablo as Pabs.
Yeah, like Aussies are so good at shortening every single word imaginable. And yeah, they, I don't know when the transition was, but Pablo, and then just Pabs. And I imported that back to Chile and I was stuck with it. In
We'll
uni,
see.
nobody knows my name is Pablo anymore. Like if it's Pabs. When
But see,
people say,
and that's how it is in England too. Like, for example,
yeah,
I forget what it was going to say. Like, so Jeremy is Jez. So
yeah,
I'm just like, that's his name, but they just make everything shorter. And I'm just,
yeah,
or just like the TV or the telly,
yeah.
Uh-huh.
television. I'm just like, oh my God, just all these shortened things. But I think my oldest son has like an old soul. He's never called it the TV, it's television. So I just think, I don't know if it's like my grandma that's like in his soul or what. Like he calls the TV the television every single time. So anyway, that's his, but it's just funny, like you say, that different cultures have to shorten everything. And I'm just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But then there's me, like Jen. I just do that because it's shorter. And then the only other people that call me Jennifer is my mom. And it's like when she's pissed off at me or it's really important. So then I'm like, just call me Jen, please. It doesn't need to be there. And then so my surname, my married surname, Tibbenham, I say obviously English. My American redneck English is ham, but then everybody in England, Tibbenham, and I'm like,
Oh,
where's the
Tibbenham.
I? Yeah, I'm like,
Whoa, dude.
where's the I? I'm like, it's Tibbenham. So I get it. It's just weird, but it's different. Um, I'm just going through my questions to make sure. Okay, so another Tammy question. How did these competitors hear about the competition?
Well, the guys from the Grips for Latino team, the guys that my friends that we always have trainings every other weekend. I told them about the competition. My friend Leticia, she heard of the competition because of me as well. And then I asked another notorious power lifter from Chile, Leslie, she's a designer, the one that designed the cool logo of the competition. And she has so many followers on Instagram. And when she was doing the draft of the design, I didn't knew it like back then, but everyone was like, "Hey, what are you working on? What is this?" And so many people from powerlifting heard about this competition, and the people from armlifting Chile heard from that too, like from Instagram. And that's a funny story because I was like, yeah, hey fellas, do you want to compete? Yeah, sure. And they were like, I'm in. But the guys from armlifting Chile were like, hey, where are the rules? Which are the rules for this competition? They call them like Pablo, how could I say like the bases in English? It's like the rules book that says if you win or
Yeah.
not.
Regulations.
Like all the
Like
regulations, like if you don't appear at certain time, you are disqualified. If you shout out the promoter, you are disqualified. If you swear, you're disqualified. And many tiny laws of I was like, why do you want this? Just come to compete and
Yeah.
fuck off.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I was
Just come.
I
Use
was
your dick
like
beaters and
I was
lift
like
heavy
that.
shit.
I was thinking like that, but I asked I have many friends from different sports, from climbing, from powerlifting, and etc., from CrossFit, and I was like, dude, are the regulations a thing? And they were like, yes, it's super important. You must have them right now. And I was like, okay, I have to make a regulation. And I grabbed the King Kong rules book, took the regulations of the Finnish ball, Little Big Horn, and Blockbuster. And then for the grippers, I adapted the rules for the credit card certification. And then I had to be like, you should be dressing like this, you will be awarded like this, and da 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 da. And well, they asked me for the regulation, and they were like 3 athletes, and then just one signed in for the competition. Sebastián Osorio, big respect to Sebastián.
Mhm.
I am not sure if he read the regulation, but he was like, "Hey Pancho, can I compete?" And I was like, "Of course, come, you're welcome." And he was like, "Yeah, I mean, plain and simple." And the ones that asked me for the regulation didn't come. But well, we are ready to receive everyone. Now we have regulations. Thanks to them. So for the next one, we have like 3/4 of the job done, because this time the disciplines were grippers, Little Big Horn, Finish Ball, and Blockbuster. And on the next version, we would like to change some of the rules or add the crusher. Spoiler, it's like a King Kong practice in secret.
hint, hint.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're gonna put Chile on the map, you know. We're
Yes.
gonna train for King Kong.
And actually, we didn't do like the King Kong, or I didn't propose to do like the King Kong full event on the first time, because here in Chile, people is in love with grippers. They love grippers. What do you think,
Yeah.
Paps? Everyone loves grippers
Yeah,
here in
yeah.
Chile.
Like every time I take my gripper to university and everyone's like, "Oh my God, where'd you get it? Where can I get one?" They just garner a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Man, it's funny. I mean, this is where like speaking to Simon Stewart, he said when he did a shot put injury that when he was laid up, that's what he did. Was just when he had his knees just on it. That's the thing. Love hate. I know with the Canadian Grip Championships, that's one of the events, and I'm still hemming and hawing about going just because my hand. But it's just something. If it's in a competition, then yeah, I'll like focus on it. But it's just not my cup of tea. Of like, all right, I'm gonna do that. Just maybe I don't have the dead time being a parent, so maybe that's what my issue is. My tissue. I'll make myself be a little bit grass to do something about it. But no, that is cool. And I think there's a huge following. And I think Poncho, that's probably your next big thing, to start marketing grippers and to try to sell into the community to then get more traffic to your website. I think that might be the next best thing. Like do it after birds or something. I don't know, like Gods of Grip, they do all these like level settings of names of gods, or is it Grip Genie, I think, is like the
Yeah.
Medusa, or yeah, that you need, I don't know, do something nationalistic for Chile to, I don't know, a little bit of patriotism for
Yeah.
grippers in Chile.
That's a mission that
That's a great idea.
like a challenge that Andrew Nguyen from Nemesis Grip made with me, like, because he has the challenge to create a new grip tool every month. So I was
Yes.
like, man, I just have been like replicating the basics, but Well, I am super nerd with numbers. I used to work in finance too, so I am like super structured with work and everything, but I am not so creative like with colors and things like that. So I was like, well, it will be kind of hard for me to design something new, but I will do it. And actually, there are many things that the guys ask me to replicate the Dini rings, replicate a blob, replicate an inch dumbbell. That's the one that I am like my hands are like itching to replicate like an inch dumbbell.
Yeah.
And replicate a little big horn, replicate a blockbuster, many things. So I take the challenge. I'm gonna do it. Give me some time, but I will build it. Actually, John Oka said that same phrase. I don't know where is it from, but build it and they will come. Is it from a movie?
So, a Field of Dreams, it was if you build it, they will come. It was making the baseball field, but yeah, it's pretty much that same maxim to do the same thing. So no, you're on it. But I think the inch dumbbells for you folks, especially the shipping, the import duty, I think that's where you'll make your money back instantaneously.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually in the future when I have more money, I will buy an inch dumbbell from Nathan. It's a must for the collection, but I am not I am not prepared for that today.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit bigger than this one, you know. This one is awesome, but
That was the biggest inch dumbbell that I could buy
yeah,
for you guys.
I'll take that. Yeah,
So
steel is so expensive,
it has. I mean, that's where I was going to say when you bought your Iron Mine in 2018, or the Little Bighorn, I mean that price difference is easily, I think, 40, $50 more expensive from 2018 from when you bought your Little Bighorn, because that's even gone up in price.
Actually, $50 cheaper than today's the Little Bighorn. I remember.
Wow. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just knew. I knew that it's just been up so much. So for sure. So then it makes me ask the question. So how are you feeling for King Kong? So are you thinking more loading pins to make sure that you're prepped?
I mean, I can make them, so it's okay because
Okay,
now I have the knowledge to do like carabiner loading pins and the loading pins like for the
definitely.
class. Like I don't know how to say like that piece,
Yeah,
but
let me
the fixed
they're
one.
not safe for work pins.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry for the
Well,
that.
the Gods of Grip pin, what I like about it, it's like I'll have to show you the pin hook where it goes through the hole and then clasps on the other side. So then you're
Oh,
not
Oh, cool.
screwing the whole entire time, because that's where Lorna said, like, I brought this kind of jimmied up rigged thing. She looked at me and she's like, Jen, we don't have time to fucking screw that thing all day long. That there's now a clamp. I'll have to show you that. I think fasteners, I'll have to ask my husband what they would necessarily call it, the technical term, because he's always done a whole bunch of rigging to kind of say that. But I'll show you the Gods of Grip pin to illustrate how much that it just clips through versus having to tighten up through a nut or a bolt.
nice.
So yeah, no, absolutely. Why reinvent the wheel and to make sure that you have a smooth running competition?
Yes.
So that's the way to do it. So on that note here, I'm kind of trying to do my best with questions. And then I guess, when do you think you might this is one of my questions. Do you think you might do a South American grip championships in the future, or do you feel like you're ready for that, or do you think a few years off?
I think it's more likely that we do any online competition before a South American competition because I have been in conversations with Brazil, Peru,
Amazing.
Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, and Colombia, and they are like buying stuff from the US, but they still don't buy stuff from me
Mm,
because maybe I mean, I think the shipping is the expensive part because
Huge.
if a product it's like 100, the shipping it's 100 or more. It's like that's the pain in the ass with the with the grip tools. So I will have to figure out how to make it like cheaper shipping for them. But my friend from Mexico, Pedro Tamayo, he's already in the bottom of the rabbit hole. When I went to Mexico for the honeymoon, I went with my backpack full of iron. Actually, it's the first time traveling when they asked me in the airport, "Hey, what's this?" And I'm like,
What the hell are you
yeah,
trying to bring here?
what's this? And I was like, "Oh, it's for training my hands." All right, these things. Okay, go. But they were like curious, not like these are weapons or something.
Yeah,
They were like,
yeah.
"Oh, I know it. I have seen them online. Nice, you
These are
can go."
some weird grenades, but okay, you can you
But
can keep
yes,
going.
Pedro is super equipped with the grips for Latino equipment. He has the rolling handle, the bull ring, the pinch block, and now I am making him like another rolling handle, a GSL finish ball, and a V-bar. Yes, I am going to make him like a classic V-bar and the jug from FBBC, a replica of the jug. So he will have enough equipment like the GSL equipment. So I was thinking in the future I will convince Pedro because he's a little shy, uh, shyer than myself. So I am like, Pedro, why don't you have a training session with your friends? No, they are not like into grip and stuff like that. And I used to think like that too, until I met Pablo and the guys that were really super interested. But well, and Pedro is super young. He's, I don't remember if 19 or 20. He's still in college, so maybe he's still a little shy. So I'll wait a couple of years and we can do an online event like the Latin American online Grips for Latina tournament. Super bad name. Sorry
Yeah.
for that, but I will figure out a good name for that, and we can do like something like Chile versus Mexico, and it can be super fun. I think that Peru may join super soon as well, and Uruguay, because I don't know if you knew, Jen, but the first country of South America that has had arm lifting was Uruguay. Arm lifting,
Okay.
arm lifting Uruguay. Rodrigo Gonzalez was the founder, and he even went to Russia to Silaruko.
Wow.
He met the guys, and he competed in mass wrestling. He didn't compete in grip, but yeah, they have grip for a long time. They had like a pause, or they were like standby for a while. But since I started with Grips for Latino, we chat every day and they are really super interested. But the main sport for them is strongman. So grip sport,
Amazing.
it's like the fun part for like the byproduct of their strongman career. No, it's not like us that grip sport is the main thing and we play other sports like for fun, like climbing, arm wrestling, powerlifting, etc. So I think, well, at least this year we are going to have the Grips for Latino Classic in August and the King Kong in October. But yeah, I think an online venue it's more likely to happen. Maybe next year, we will see.
Yeah. Because this year I think our focus is just making the sport grow in Chile. Like nobody knows about grip sport. I talk to my friends and sometimes they think I'm joking. Like I say like I'm training grip and they're just like, okay, so you're masturbating more. Like, no, dude, like it's a sport. And I think it's super fun. Like when we do these sessions in parks, people are very interested and they're kind of shy, but once you invite them to try it, most people are super eager to. So I just think it's a time thing. People are gonna get more into
Awareness.
it. Yeah, like every climber ever has always been so happy to try these tools. They love to see where their strength is. So definitely our marketing is gonna have to go all out this year to make it grow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huge, huge with climbers. I get it. And then even I've done stuff at climbing gyms, and then when I go to Zeus's in Hastings, which is an hour away, and that's where like Laura Guy and Lorna Payton, we kind of meet up. And that's where you get all these like meathead powerlifters. Oh, give me a try. And then they're like, fuck, man, that's tough. And it's like, yeah, it's not for the lighthearted. It's more that meets the eye. So definitely, or like I said, if the time's right, and I think you could definitely get probably myself, Sarah, and Tammy over like in January or February because it's shitty in the North American part of like with winter that
Uh,
possibly you could get us.
I commit right now to organize a tournament if you
Just for you
come.
guys.
I mean, we all compete, but I will
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
Leticia, Letty,
yeah,
the
yeah,
world's best grip sport girls, the Powerpuff girls, are coming. The girls are
definitely.
coming, so we make something for you. Definitely, I
And
commit.
Chile is an awesome country. We'll show you all the best spots if you'd like.
Yeah.
It's definitely no, it seems to be amazing. Like when that's the thing, it was February and I like Googled, I think it was maybe the day that or the weekend that Pablo and I were talking. Um I saw the weather and it was like sorry, the Celsius, I'll do it in Celsius. So 23 and I was like, at my house in England, I was like 5 degrees Celsius. I was like, why the hell am I here?
If you
'Cause,
want to run
yeah,
from the fog and from the cold, this is the place. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really nice here, and
definitely. So
there's a lot to see.
Yeah.
definitely. So that's where we're thinking maybe like a week of like go and hang out, do something. And yeah, that's where I think all of us were like, no, we just need to escape the cold. It just needs to be the right time of year and not compete with the Arnolds. We'll have to figure that out. I think there might be a good time or whether or not I need to take my kids during like Christmas break and be like, all right, we're going to Chile for Christmas.
That can be like a crossover between Goddesses of Grip and Grips for Latino.
I
Yeah.
love it. No, that'd be
Yeah.
great. Yeah, that would be great. That would be good. Now, it's just like you say, or have us like support it because that's what they kind of did with Immortal Grip Wars of kind of advertising myself, Sarah, and a few other people, Anna Haruku from Finland. It's just maybe getting that out there and then people to see that. But I know then it becomes venue and high stakes, but just finding the right one. But I mean, that's where if it's in the capital city, that's where I think that makes it nicer. If capital city, if you take a bus or an Uber, then like happy times for us international folks. Like we don't care at that
Yes.
point. Yeah, versus in Sweden of going to the capital city and then driving 4 hours at our Airbnb and then drive another half hour. That I just felt like that was Viking pillaging travel. So that's,
Yeah.
but it is crazy. And then Pablo, what I was just going to interrupt to say that university, you could start a university grip club. Like
Yeah, I
you
mean,
do it.
I so I wanted to introduce grip to my university friends.
Hmm.
So I usually bring a dynamometer to
Yes.
to uni and just have at it and pass it to different people so they can test their strength. Actually, there's a party that we have that's called the Última Neurona, the last brain cell. That's a party you have at your last year. And I brought the dynamometer and I had like this thesis, okay, like how does alcohol affect your max?
Oh,
So
amazing.
I had like a bunch of friends uh, and I started measuring their grip through the night. And what I found was that most of people maximize their strength after one drink, and then it was all downhill from that. One drink, I don't know if it was just more ego or they were just more eager, but mostly everyone did better with like one drink, and then after that they just got so weak, when they were drunk. And
Who knows with like historically, maybe that's why the Germans had a little bit of beer at some of their strength things. Like they knew that maybe just like one,
yeah,
and then
just
after
a little
that,
bit. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know if it's just better blood flow. I don't know. Maybe.
I love your thesis. Like you just partied and had to hang out with random
Yeah.
people. Amazing. You're a smart man, sir.
Thank you very much. It was like so funny because um I study engineering, and it was just like you're such a grip nerd, you know? It's it's what I love. And I've also wanted to build a arm wrestling table at my university. I built one, but the campus took it. So now I've just got some 2 pallets that I'm gonna take apart and build one, hopefully this week. Just, to get people into the sport.
Good for you.
I
Did
think
you
I I think
did you
like arm
pedal it?
wrestling is the gateway drug
It is. It is the
to
gateway
grip.
drug. Definitely. I was just gonna say, did you like charge the university? Like when they charge you for classes, you'd be like, where the hell is my arm lifting table? Or my arm wrestling, sorry, arm wrestling.
I just found out today, so I'm definitely gonna write them like, dude, I need some compensation for that, for the emotional damage
For your
of
work, for your work,
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
I spent like 2 afternoons building that with scraps, but still it was a good table, and yeah, they just took it. I don't know why.
They have to
You
pay you
said
for your work.
Yeah, like
definitely.
give me next year free, please. I don't want to keep paying.
That could be good, man.
I don't want to keep paying this university.
You're like
Yeah,
sustainability, that table, just yeah, yeah, you have to say that like it was within the green, like footprint, like
yeah,
carbon neutral. Beyond that,
exactly.
like you were using that engineering brain of yours, and it just somehow somebody just I guess got table envy. I don't know. Maybe they probably took it. I'm sure some like professor that was so tight that they're like, I'm gonna take that table.
Maybe. I think it's a mystery, It just disappeared and nobody took responsibility for it, but we'll build a new one.
Good. I'm glad. I was gonna say rest in peace, table.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. Right, gentlemen, is there anything you want to add to our our podcast? Do you feel that we fulfilled, hit some singers, anything?
I just wanted to like to finish
Sorry, it's like
the
Jerry, it's Jerry Springer. Closing thoughts. Then I'll hand it back to you. Jerry Springer. It was like closing thoughts. So
ah
guess. Yes. So Poncho to you. Closing thoughts.
I think, well, Pablo mentioned that he was one of the nerds of like the team with the numbers, but well, it was like just this was 100% random, but the Grips for Latina team has one physical education teacher and the rest are poor engineers or people from or and people who studied business like me. So I think from 10 guys, 8 can sit behind the computer and do well and be happy with it.
Hmm.
I figured out that we like think like the same way, like instructors, because when I started the meetings, I was like, yeah, I'm going to bring a rolling handle, a pinch block, and a V-bar. And the next session, I am going to bring different implements and to mix things up, you know? And then I thought I am going to bring more loading pins. And then the guys told me, hey, you are like doing a mess with this. We like structure just 4 things and we go all in order, not different loading pins. And I was like, oh, that's what I could do for myself because I am super structured. And the guys are like that too. And they like anime, they like computer
Yeah,
games.
Pokemon. Yeah,
they
we're just
they are all we're all nerds with the
yeah,
movies, with the games, and with the hobbies. And I was like, yeah, we are not. We are all nerds, so you're not alone,
yeah,
Pablo. We are all nerds.
yeah. But it's great. It's great. I love it.
It is
Yeah.
good. So there was like a movie in the 80s, like Revenge of the Nerds. The nerds, there needs to be like, there needs to be like grip nerds, 2024 or like grip nerd universe.
We'll make it happen.
In
I love
general,
it.
in general, I have seen, because I know, thanks to Grips per Latino, people from all over the world, and we are all special. We are all different than the average person, like obsessed with sports, obsessed with pop culture, or just different. All of us, and all
Built
of us
different.
super
Yeah.
built different, and all of us super welcoming in general. So it's a safe place to be yourself. So that's my
Definitely.
final. Well, and as final phrase, the event was amazing. I will repeat it 100 times. So if the Chilean team is watching, thanks again, because I am going to bring an even better event the next time.
Love it. Pablo, throw it down. Or Pobs. Or it's like
Habs.
Pabs.
Let's do it. Well, I just want to thank both of you first, to thank Pancho. I think, like, I always tell my friends when I'm talking about grip, like, he's like an angel that fell from the sky, like a grip angel that fell from the sky, because I literally loved watching Yuji Mufu and his videos of grip, and I never thought I was going to be able to try a rolling handle or a hub, or in the future possibly an inch dumbbell. I never thought that was going to be possible, because in Chile it's a sport that's basically non-existent. So when I met Pancho, it was like, oh my God, like this is awesome. I didn't know I was ever going to be able to do this and just enjoy by videos. And I think it's a sport that's gotten more popular with time, and I think it's going to keep growing. So I'm so happy to be part of it, and so happy to have met you, Jen. Uh,
Thank you. Likewise. No, this has been awesome. Like you're a part of it already. Like it's heartfelt across the miles, buddy. Totally.
yeah,
No,
for
it's good.
sure. Super awesome, great interview questions. I'm so glad you took the time out of your day to let us talk about the competition. So thank you very much for that.
Uh, No, thank you. I'm just glad that I met Poncho and we just got on really famously, or smashing, as I should say, is
Yeah,
like a proper
smashing.
English.
Yeah.
Yeah, smashing. And definitely for like to it, more refined English that we talk to each other and just then the grandfather clock. I was like, you want to know what? Because that's the thing between Rogue, Gods of Grip, um, what was it, Grip Genie? I bought the Hill, and I was like, I'm sick of having all these like V bars. I was like, I'm just gonna give it to him. That's where I just thought it's out. I don't need a pair or anything. So I just thought, nope, when I go into the Arnold's, I'm gonna shave off another few thousand miles on shipping. And then it was nice that Grace, I was like, just send it to Poncho. I was like, just no, try to help the grip world and community.
And
But that's where I just thought,
we will definitely use it in a competition soon, because actually me and
I
Pablo
loved
were
it. We
we
tried
were
good.
it.
we
It was
were the
awesome.
ones to lift 101, or it was 100
Yeah.
kilograms, but
Yeah.
Amazing.
we lifted the most, and it was amazing, and especially for Pablo, because he's lighter than me, so it's like the beast of the B bar these days.
Definitely.
I'm gonna make you nervous, Punch. That's
Yeah,
my mission.
you have to surpass me, and then I want to surpass myself and surpass you as
Yeah.
well. But yes, we are super happy with it. In the training previous to the competition, we all tried the B bar, and it was super cool. So we are
Yeah.
super happy,
Thank you
Jen,
so much. Yeah.
with the gift for Groups for Latino to competitions in Chile.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, just that's the thing. Just I think like a year's notice, and I think you could get a few people to come down to Chile. There was a competition in Italy, like Tammy said about it, and then just me doing the Gods of Grip thing, there was conflict. And that's good to have a conflict of like dates. I just thought, you know, me doing my Gods of Grip, and then there's this thing going on in Italy, but it's the whole entire weekend. But it's good to see that it's all these minority sports that are just trying, there's more out there.
Yes.
And that's where the power of social media. I think when you use social media the way that it wants to of events. I think that's very powerful. It's positive, but all this stuff about the popularity, the mental headspace, that it just takes over your life. That's kind of the negative. But no, when you do events like this, then absolutely 100%. It's therefore the group chat with some of the other grip people. That's been amazing because if you think about it, I just within 20 years ago using phone cards to talk to my husband, then boyfriend. It's just amazing how much technology has changed and then interact. I mean, 20 years ago, we would having to be using, landline telephones and communicating that way. But no, it's nice that we're doing this across the continents, across the fucking ocean, to be honest. And
Awesome.
we're having this conversation. So no, being reflective, that it's just amazing that we're having a good chat. And that's where it's almost like we could almost do a virtual like hangout and lift as well. That who knows, we could do that in the future.
Exactly, and we
That's a great
we,
idea.
we would love to go to the UK with Pablo to, of course, to meet you, to meet Nathan. Maybe Pablo, you should like motivate and train for the Dini Stones, and we go together.
Ooh,
In the
let's do
future.
it. Let's do it. Yeah.
Go to the Commando Temple. I mean, that to me, that's heartfelt. It's been my sanctuary being in the UK. It's finding those like-minded people. That's Rob Blair and Maya for having that, and then they're expanding their business within the Lake District. No, just those are the people, like the pinnacle people in my life of like grips, just like training, grip sport. That's amazing. And then also David Horn competed at his place as a possibility. But yeah, I think there's a lot of homage to grip sports, the minority sports within the UK that have kept that going.
Perfect.
Absolutely. So should we just say goodbye and the session and the show?
Exactly. I am grateful for being interviewed by you, Jen.
A legend.
And
Thank you.
super grateful to have a Pablo from Chile to join Grips for Latino, one of the episodes. So more of this to come. We will be meeting soon, definitely. And if you come to Chile with Sarah and Tammy, we are going to make a big event for you, a competition. So it's going to be legendary.
Hell yeah. No, I can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Okay,
Awesome.
so stay tuned for next episodes, and thanks everyone for tuning in. Bye, friends.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.